Hi ma'am, just a quick question. I'm James Thomas from Channel 7. If I'm really nice to you, can you put me in your will? I just noticed a very nice car there. I'll get you bread and milk every day.
It's a long shot, but apparently it can work.
Love thy neighbour.
This house among the mansions of Sydney's exclusive Point Piper forms an estate which is worth $12.5 million. When the owner, Mrs. Harris, died, she gave the lot to her next-door neighbour, Beatrice Gray.
Hello Mrs. Gray, are you in there? I did just want to say thank you for teaching us a very valuable lesson. Be good to your neighbour.
Mrs. Harris, who died aged 95, was going to bequeath her estate to her relatives, but changed her mind when she felt members of the family were trying to push her out of her house and into a nursing home. So she switched her will to her neighbours. Not surprisingly, her family contested the will in the Supreme Court in a case that ran 2 years.
This area of law can get very, very nasty indeed, particularly when the deceased had a number of relationships, so there might be children from each relationship who are challenging it.
Armstrong Legal's John Sutton.
Statistically, it seems quite often that the applicant, so the person challenging the will actually get something out of the challenge.
But in this case, the court found in favour of the neighbour, noting that they often looked after Mrs. Harris, helped with chores and regularly did milk and bread runs.
No answer. Maybe they prefer malted grain.
Well, it was worth a try, and I'm not the only opportunist in the neighbourhood.
So what do you think the lesson of that story is?
Oh mate, like I told you, I wish it was me.
I wish it was me too.
We're not sure what the good neighbour will do with her substantial inheritance. Perhaps she should get a good will herself.
If one wants to get a watertight will, it sounds like an advert, but you really need to sit down with a lawyer, but particularly a lawyer who knows what they're doing in the area of wills and estates.
And if you happen to be Mrs. Gray's gardener, be sure to do a good job. There may be a quid in it, and there's a few to give away.
The baby boomer generation, which is now the generation that is starting to pass away, is the richest generation in history that we've seen. And so therefore more and more estates are going to be eyed at, shall we say, and worth fighting for.
A not so lucky James Thomas there. Now to the covert camera operation that's revealed the appalling way some of the country's